don't know what they're feeding those horses, but they need to lay off the curry, if you know what I mean. Ugh. He really managed to find his way. Hello. Get you scared me. I'm just going to whack them in and just see what happens. Good morning guys, welcome back to my allotment diaries. My name is Emma, these are my allotment diaries, and I'm back on the plot today. The weather's dropped a little bit and it's a little bit colder now, which is a bit frustrating, but what can you do? What can you do? The very first job I'm going to do today is take my wheelbarrow and go and get some horse manure. So at this allotment plot we get delivered horse manure pretty much daily, I would say at least every other day, and so we always have a massive supply of it. It's so good for your soil and it's free, and I am thinking about starting to sort out the pumpkin archway. So over here I have my old polytunnel frame. This is what my pumpkins are going to grow over this year. I'm going to cover it in some chicken wire and really reinforce it, but for today I'm going to work on the beds underneath it. So pumpkins are very hungry plants. It means that they really like a lot of nutrients and a lot of water, lots of rich nutrient filled soil. So we're going to whack on some horse manure either side, just where the pumpkins are going to grow directly, so right under the archway. A big pile there and a big pile there. Now don't blame me for this. I know I try to stick with no dig as much as possible, so putting the cardboard down and then putting all the layers of compost over the top. No dig is so good for your garden in so many ways, but this garden here has been filled with, hope you can hear me now, has been filled with ground sheets. It's been covered in ground sheets for a very long time, and what I want to do is start getting down into that soil and sorting it out. So I am going to dig it a little bit and get out anything like bindweed root, any blackberry canes, any weeds that I think I can just eradicate straight away is going to come out today. So that's the first job we're going to tackle, sorting out the beds for the pumpkins. Right, let's go and get that horse poo. Stinks of poo today, jeez Louise. Tell you what, that horse poo stinks. It really reeks today. I don't know what they're feeding those horses, but they need to lay off the curry, if you know what I mean. Ugh. Right, the first thing we're going to do then, I've got quite a lot actually. I don't really know why it's yellow. It just sort of is the colour it is. So we're just going to say that that is poo, and poo is good. First thing we're going to do is dig out this bed here and just get rid of any bindweed, anything that's just looking, you know, like perennial. Anything that might, you know, grow later on in the year and cause me a lot of trouble, we're just going to get rid of straight away. So it's the first thing we're going to do, digging. Digging at the no digging plot. I know, I don't always follow the rules. That, we don't want that, we don't want that. Where should I put it? Hang on, I need something to put it in. There goes the horse poo truck over there. Don't know if you'll see it go by. Yeah, pretty much every day we get free horse poo, which is amazing. So I've done this bed here now. I'm just working my way through that one. But yeah, just thought I'd share that we just literally just now just had a new pile of horse poo delivered, which is amazing. There's a lot of worms in here, which is a really good thing. I'm really happy to see all the worms. If you think about it, when you're sorting out your soil at your allotment plot, what you're essentially trying to do is make it a really welcoming home for worms and insects and all the microbacteria and stuff like that. So you're just trying to make a really nice place for worms to live. So when you dig it and you see worms, it's like you're already winning. They already like it, you know? It's good. Good soil. Nice. Right, so one of the things you might be thinking is that's not very rotted down horse manure, and it's true, yes. This is quite fresh, so this will need to rot down over probably 4 or 5 months, which is fine because I'm not planning on putting the pumpkins out until sort of May, maybe June time. So I think by then it should have rotted down. I'm going to top it up with some compost, maybe some topsoil or something, just make it really nutrient rich, and it should help to start breaking it all down. You can't plant into fresh manure because it gets hot and it burns the roots, and nobody wants to be burnt alive by poo. So don't do it to your plants, basically. You have to wait for it to be well rotted down before you can plant into it. So that's what I will do, but that's now sort of like dug out. I've got loads of bindweed out of it, and dug over, and horse manure in it. It's a good step. I'm really glad that I've sort of got this bit done. I'm starting to sort out the soil, because the sooner you sort out your soil, the better. Spring is coming. I've realised I have more work to do around here, so I've got to make some pathways around here, because otherwise all those weeds are just going to grow up and take over a little bit. Somebody did say as well about this gooseberry bush that it becomes really prickly, so I might swap that for a blueberry bush instead, and might have another blueberry bush here, because I think they like to live in pairs, blueberry bushes, so I might change that at some point. Anyway, that took a lot longer than I anticipated, so on to the next job. Right, so I got a little bit worried the other day. I heard on the news that it's like one of the warmest Januaries on record. They said that it's going to be like 14 to 16 degrees on some days, and I was like, that's like 6 or 7 degrees above average. And I thought, crikey, all those poor bees and insects are going to wake up early, and there's going to be hardly any food for them. And I got a little bit sort of like panicky about it. So I know it's like really late in the season to do this. So first week of February is like not the time to be planting spring bulbs, but I did buy myself some crocus flowers, crocus bulbs for crocus flowers. They're all like the different coloured mix. Some of them you can see they're already sort of sprouting, so I'm hoping they'll just get an early start really. And I also picked up some more tulip bulbs. Tulips you can plant all the way to January, but I'm not sure about February. Again, they are starting to sort of sprout a little bit, so I'm just going to whack them in and just see what happens basically. I mean, I don't think it can hurt just to put some more in. So then maybe the insects will have something to eat, is what I'm thinking. Poor things, they're going to be starving. I did plant a load of tulips and some other spring bulbs in here, but it got flooded really badly and I'm worried they've died. And also I've been like walking over it, I totally forgot basically, and I put heavy things on it, like the tree trunk and everything's been on it for a bit. So I'm a little bit worried that I've sort of killed them all. So I'm going to just whack more in. The more the merrier. Let's just whack them all in, see what happens, get rid of that rubbish, give it a bit of a rake over. What's the worst that can happen? The best that can happen is we get some flowers. The worst that happens is they don't grow, but the squirrel gets to dig them up and eat them. So win-win. So I actually think around this little tree stump here, I'm going to put all the crocus flowers. So I'm going to tidy it up a little bit. You can see it's a little bit weedy at the moment. And I'm going to put the crocus flowers all around here. Someone is very excited to see me digging again, aren't you? Yeah. Right, there are going to be weeds here this year, all under this apple tree. It's all going to come up. There's nothing I can really do about it. There's so many. I need to treat this area like I would a raised bed. There's Einstein over there singing. I found this while I was digging out my plot, and it's really, really useful for bulb planting. It's so sharp. I'm going to do this in no time now. You know, there have been a few little useful finds that I found on the plot that I will reuse and repurpose and stuff. So it's not all rubbish, you know. Most of it's rubbish, to be honest. But some of it I can use again. Let's get these crocus flowers in. I think it's going to look really magical, actually. God, I wish I could just get rid of all those weeds. They're so stringy. They're so difficult to like get out. I just have to keep cutting them back till they die. Right, I sort of want them all about the place. I don't think it really matters. They'll find his way. Hello. Get you scared me. Right, let's stick them all in. This is very time consuming. I didn't think it would take this much time, but it's taking a lot of time. There's a lot of them. Oh God, I'm gonna be here for the rest of my life doing this. I think it'd be worth it though. Sometimes you've got to put in a little bit of time. Sometimes a lot of bit of time, you know. I think it'd be really worth it when all these come up, if they come up. God, I hope they come up. God, I hope I get it. I hope I get it. How many crocus will we have? How many crocus will the squirrel eat? Probably all of them. Little bastard. I think I hate planting bulbs. I think it's the worst job ever. Even with that little nifty tool, which is so useful for just digging a hole really quickly, but I just absolutely hate it. There's just so many of them, but you know, if you get them all in, it's going to look amazing, so you just want to plant all of them. Anyway, they're in. I've got all the tulip bulbs in and all those crocus flowers in. They're already starting to grow, so I'm really hoping that they continue and don't just keel over and die. Sometimes they do that. This area is going to look so unbelievably beautiful if all those crocus flowers come up. So I planted them all in the middle here and then all around quite closely, and as they go away from it they kind of get like less close together, so further apart, which I think will look really nice. It's almost like they're spilling out the middle of that. That will look absolutely gorgeous. And then I put another little pile of tulips over there, so as you're coming down the pathway you'll have some little tulips there, and I put another little gang of tulips here just in this corner. I think they'll look quite nice in the corner. And then I did plant a load of tulip bulbs here a little while ago. I think I saw a couple of them coming up, but it flooded when we had that awful rain. This whole area was basically a giant puddle. They might survive that, they might not, I don't know. Some of them I think have. I just see one here. I've lost him now. I must have covered him with mud again, but there was a little tulip poking through here somewhere, so I think some of them are going to come up. I've been digging around and stuff, so I've probably covered them up again. All my old tulips on my original plot, they're all coming up, but then they tend to come up earlier when they've been in the ground for a couple of years. These ones are brand new, so I wouldn't really expect them to come up until March maybe. Maybe they'll start springing through the ground in March, hopefully, fingers crossed. They're all coming up here though, and they're looking absolutely beautiful. Planted loads of new spring bulbs around my pond. These are daffodils coming up, and then we've got the irises. I think I planted some tulips around here. I can't see, and oh I can, there's one there. One little tulip there. I think there's one over there. So they are starting to poke up now, which is great, but this is going to look really beautiful, fingers crossed. Yeah, I think it'd be nice to get some more spring flowers going, especially if we're going to have slightly warmer year, it seems. It seems to be getting warmer and warmer every year, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm really happy with what we did today. So we started to sort out the pumpkin archway, the ground of it anyway. Planted in some spring bulbs. I think I'm going to leave it there because I've been here for 3 hours. It took me 3 hours to do all that, guys. And then I think what I'll do, oh God, you hear all that building work? I think what I'm going to do is sort out the pathway around my pumpkin archway and finally finish it properly so the weeds all don't come up and take over. Just around this bit here is where I'm getting worried now, because I dug up quite a bit of bindweed and stuff, so I think I'll continue the path up and around this and try and wood chip it and get that kind of so it's a bed on its own and I can handle it then. Anyway, that is where we are with the plot right now. I hope you've enjoyed this little instalment of my allotment diary. I'll see you again in my next vlog on Friday. See you Friday, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.